What's up guys, welcome to Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content, and great news for all the One Punch Man lovers out there who like the anime series. There is the collaboration back, which means that you not only have the opportunity to get the RAZ Saitama cosplay skin again for free, I'm going to talk about that in a second, but also you will have the possibility to get both the Genos skin for Errol and the Terrible Tornado skin for Crixie via in-game purchases. And I think the most interesting skin here, because it is free, is actually the RAZ skin that I have already been achieving when the collaboration hit the game for the first time. You can do this for free. The only thing what you have to do is you need to get the cards here by claiming that, for example, through a daily login, and then you will get these cards for different kinds of exercises, squats, sit-ups and stuff like that. With these you can train and exercise, and this is going to boost your level. As you can see, I have just started the whole process and we went from 0 power to 2000. And as you can see, there are different bosses here. I think they're coming from the One Punch Man universe. As far as I'm concerned, I rarely watch the series, but some of them do come up when I think about the fights that I've been watching on YouTube. And as you can see, the different bosses have different power levels. So for example, the first crab guy needs 5000 power to be defeated. So you need to exercise basically every day. And when you hit 25,000 power, you are able to defeat the last boss, and you will get the RAZ Saitama cosplay skin for free. The only thing that you need to do is basically log in and try to get the cards until the 22nd of June. So you've got about a month or 20 days to do so after the whole thing hit the store. So of course, something that is going to be part of this video is that I'm going to talk about RAZ, the skills and his equipment. So let's start with the hero first. He is an assassin that is dealing ability power based damage. He is also a melee fighter, which I think suits the whole theme of being Saitama as a cosplay guy quite nicely. So you have your fists to deal the damage. You are a close combat fighter, but you have a really great unique ability, which is some sort of fireball that's going to harass the enemies for days. It's really powerful. As you can see, damage is nearly the highest possible in terms of the stats here. And going through the skills, your passive is that after you use a skill, you will have a movement and speed increase, which is actually quite fun, because as soon as you hit a fireball, you are able to get the movement speed increase, and then you can dodge enemy projectiles a little bit more easily. And his first normal attack is also going to deal additional damage and knocks enemies back, which is kind of a little bit difficult to use, because it just means that you're going to jump towards the enemies, and you need to develop a feeling for that, because sometimes with this you are ending really close to enemies in a team fight, and that sometimes might just be that you are overextending a little bit too much. But yeah, practice makes perfect. So I think if you haven't managed to really get a hang on this, just practice this in the hero trial mode. First skill is Rising Uppercut. You are going to dash towards the enemies, dealing damage, and you're going to knock them up briefly. You're going to restore energy, and energy is basically the main resource. You don't have mana, you have energy, which is stacking up after some time, and this is going to restore your enemy, so you can just throw out fireballs a little bit more often. Your bread and butter skill is the Power Surge, which is the fireball that I've been talking about a lot in this video already. So you're going to launch a projectile, you're going to deal damage to the enemy, and you are going to not only reduce their magic defense, which is actually quite nice, especially in team fights, because it just means that your teammates deal a little bit more damage, but you're also going to slow them down by 90%, which is huge. And this is going to be your main entrance skill you are going to hit the enemies with the power surge for once, and then you can follow up with your first ability or your ultimate, of which we're talking about now. So explosive KO, you're going to dash in the target direction, dealing a massive amount of damage, and you're knocking them back, and all these abilities are going to restore your energy if you hit an enemy with that. This is really, really powerful. As you can see, base damage is 1200 as at the last level, and the cooldown is actually reduced to 20 seconds, so you can use that a lot. Talking about all his powers, as I already said, he is ability power damage based, so that means that we're of course building a lot of magic damage here. As you can see, this is my staple build. You're going to have some damage items in here, for example the boomstick, which is also increasing the area of effect when you hit them with the power surge. Diadem is quite important because it just increases your magic damage overall, and then we have thrown in a Staff of the Null for the reduced magic penetration or the additional magic penetration, but it's going to pierce the enemies, and then we're going to end the build with Apocalypse and of course the Arctic Orb. And I think Arctic Orb is actually quite nice because you will have times that you will find yourself really in the thick of things, because it's just his playstyle. He is melee damage based, and that means that you're going to be really upfront the enemy, sometimes even under the tower, and this item just helps you to prevent incoming damage. Talking about damage, the Arcana setup is basically completing what we've started in the equipment section. So as you can see, we've got ability power, magic penetration, magic lifesteal, and cooldown reduction. That's my basic mage damage build. It consists of 10 times Violate level 3, 10 times Devour level 3, and we are following up with Hex level 3. If you need a little bit more magic penetration, you can also change Hex for Flurry, but I have come to really have fun with this kind of build, and it suited me quite nicely. In terms of enchantments, last but not least, as I said, we're going on full damage, and as you can see, we are building it up with the enchantments as well. So our core enchantment will be Holy Thunder, and we're going to throw every sort of damage increasing enchantment in here as well. So we've got Axe of Sacrifice as well as Holy Verdict for some additional magic penetration, and then we're going with Raging Inferno and Deadly Claw to boost our damage even further. So this is the build, quite extensive start to begin a game with, but I think it is needed, especially for the guys who haven't played RAZ before. I've read in the Discord sections on another channel that people have actually difficulties to play RAZ because they don't really get this kind of melee-based playstyle with the addition of the power surge spell, and I think it takes some practice to really master him. I don't know if I mastered him, but actually the gameplay is going to be quite nice that you're going to see in a minute. And the last thing that I want to tell you, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. It really helps me out to get to these 5,000 subscribers. That is the overall aim to achieve on this channel. And of course, likes and comments are here to help me with the algorithm. So if you've got a free thumb to spare, just hit that like button and help me out on that behalf. So without further ado, let's start with today's gameplay so I can talk about the combo. Alright, here we go. And something that I did not mention in the intro and the equipment section is that I'm going to use Gilded Greaves most of the times on RAZ. A lot of heroes that you are going to meet at the mid lane have CC spells, for example Vera here with her S2, and we want to reduce the duration of those CC abilities to the bare minimum, and therefore Gilded Greaves is my go item because it's not shredding down anything in the damage department. So this is the mobility thing that we're using. I would always go with the S2 as my first item because, as I said, we're going to harass the enemy most of the time at the beginning of the fight, and then we're using our knock-up S1 or our ultimate to close the deal. And you guys are going to see how well that works with that Mina and Lubu combination here. So following up, this time I was using my knock-up first because I wanted to reduce the possibilities of her to get away, and after her health was really low, I just used a power surge to kill her, and that worked out quite nicely. So that's basically your bread and butter combo. You are going to either open up with a fireball or with your S1, but you need to pick the ability suitable to the actual situation. So that's going to be quite important here. When it comes to enemies that restrain RAZ, who are able to suppress him, especially in the early game, I'm thinking of enemies who are actually quite mobile and who can keep a distance between you and them. So for example, Tulen would be one of those heroes. Diochan is actually quite annoying because she's got a lot of crowd control spells, and because of your kind of foreseeable movement, she might just have an easy time to set up a trap in order to kill you. Unfortunately, I've been killed here, but again, I was using my S1 here to enter the fight and close the distance, and then it was just one power surge to end her life here quite easily. So I would say that's the basic combo. Yeah, Tulen is a good example. I would say Dirac is quite annoying as well. So all these heroes that can keep a distance but are able to deal a lot of damage in a short duration of time, those are the heroes that you need to look out for, and the way to deal with them is basically try to soften them up with your power surge and then try to close in, sidestep some of their abilities, and then just try to push them out of the tower range with one of your movement abilities, and then try to kill them with your power surge in the aftermath. So I would say this is like the combo that you need to use, but there will be some occasions where I'm going to show you different combos here in the video as well. So yeah, this is about that. When looking at our team composition, our team was actually quite nicely. We've got 2 tanks, so we do have some meat shields that are fighting up front, which gives us the opportunity to go in and fight back. And look at that. I saw that Arthur was about to enter the fight, so I was just opening with some damage, and now we've got great opportunities to just go in, and this was the kind of reverse combo. I was opening up with my power surge on Brunhilde, and after I used an ability, my passive was activated, and I was able to just use this kind of lunge ability from the passive, and I killed her by jumping towards her and just hit her with my bare fist. Pure Saitama playstyle. I think he would be proud of us in this very moment. So yeah, I think it's actually quite cool. And what I really like about the whole concept here is they didn't give RAZ the basic skin, so he did not become any of those heroes, but he has received some sort of cosplay thing, which I think makes total sense when thinking about One Punch Man, who is the strongest guy in the universe. He's mostly killing enemies by just a single blow after they hit him multiple times, and I mean, that's his downside. He has this great ability that no one else can defeat him. He's super durable, and then it just needs one punch. And if they would have kind of put that on a hero here in the game, the complete idea behind One Punch Man would be completely destroyed. So I think it's great that they have put a cosplay skin on him. At first I was like, huh, why not the real one? I mean, yes, it's free, so we do get it without spending any money on it, but it makes total sense, and I after thinking about it, I liked it even more. So here again, we were using our second ability first of all, and then afterwards we were jumping in with a combined approach of our ultimate and following up with another fireball to get the double kill. Again, I'm using my abilities here to knock up the enemies so that my team can get the kill, resulting in a dead RAZ here, which is not really that problematic, because as you can see, we're leading to 22 versus 2 already, so everything is fine in this gameplay. And let me have a look, as this is part of the AoV programs video. Demonstrate RAZ skill combo and explain how to use it. I think I did it. We were talking about the class, the skills, tips, spells, arcana, and enchantments, the best combo, and the hero who most restrains him. So talking about combos in terms of a team composition, as I already said, you do want to have 1 or 2 tanks in your team composition because it really helps him out a lot, as it just means that you don't have to play up front, and it gives you great vectors to apply your power surge to the enemies. Softening up with your spell is always quite helpful. Again, knocking up enemies and then just throwing in a power surge is really, really, really easy to use, and it just ensures that you're going to hit that fireball without needing to aim that properly, because that's sometimes the problem. The fireball is going to be activated as soon as it hits a target, and the problem is that that can be also the case when the enemy hero is just standing behind some of those minions. The fireball won't hit the hero, but it will hit the minions, be activated, and the damage is soaked up by the minions. Therefore, you want to have someone who is able to clear them quite nicely. I mean, it's not your duty alone, but look at that. The power of this power surge is really, really crazy. I think combined with Gilderer, who has something quite equal, slowing down enemies and dealing a lot of damage, it's one of the best abilities to soften up targets and really poke and harass enemies if they are not closing in. And the great thing about RAZ is that you don't even need mana for it. So that's really crazy. Unfortunately, my combo wasn't pulled off here in this scene, but as you can see, we've got the complete domination here over the enemies. There's not really that much that they can do against us. We are already starting to deal damage to the core because we just managed to get into the core area in less than 9 minutes. Apocalypse is next. Brunhilde has been pulled. I think the enemies don't really want to win this fight anymore. I mean, the game status is speaking for itself, and it's just a matter of time until we win that game. I think we had a great means in terms of being helpful for our team. 9 kills, that's something that we can talk about. So the power of RAZ is actually really, really good. He's able to deal a lot of damage, and that said, you are there to kill the targets, you are there to shove enemies around, and I think this sort of double crowd control effect that you have coming from your first ability and your ultimate is actually quite powerful. If it would just be pure damage without the crowd control aspects, that would be a lot weaker, but knocking enemies up and basically just denying them the possibility to fight back while they are in the air is really, really helping RAZ to deliver the finishing blow, and this is what this video was all about. So I hope you guys really liked it, and if that is the case, again, a like is highly appreciated. So the overall score wasn't really that great, I think, because I was dying and not getting too much of assists because I was basically fighting my fights on my own. Put us down to a 10-2 here, which is actually the first best score. 20% damage taken. Participation wasn't that great. As I said, I don't really score that much, that many assists here, but I think the overall performance was still good. And yeah, if you haven't played RAZ in quite a while, the One Punch Man collaboration might just be something that you might be interested in. So get the free skin, try RAZ again, and have a great time on the battlefield. Thanks for watching the video. I'm What If Does Gaming, and I'm out. Have a great evening. Bye bye.